Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this flight today. I'm going to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Because I don't know when it is you're going to be watching this video. Regardless of what time it is, we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you. The flight today is going to be from a small airfield outside of Stuttgart, where I live. In fact, I'm standing on my home airfield right now. And we're going to be flying to the small town of Nördlingen, which happens to be far more interesting than I would have thought at first glance. It is 6 degrees Celsius right now, but up at altitude, we're going to be cruising at about 5,000 feet. It's going to be between 0 and 1 degree Celsius, so basically freezing, and I'm a little concerned about exposing the cameras to those temperatures outside the aircraft. So on this particular flight, we're going to keep the cameras inside the aircraft, and then, of course, we'll walk around the town of Nördlingen, and we'll see what there is to see, and we'll eat what there is to be eaten. So as ever, please keep your hands and feet inside the aircraft at all times. My name is River, and I'll be your pilot this morning. Welcome aboard.
Jägerhaus startete in die Abflugbereich.
Der Takeoff-Felder ist ja Stück weit.
In die startet.
Alright, windsock is dead. Yes sir. So I'm gonna take 0-4 for my landing. Satisfied. Yep. Nördlingen radio Delta India 3 and inbound. Kort 4 förlaten.
So this is actually the way I imagine southwestern Germany. This is pretty typical.
Yeah.
So the tower at this airfield is significantly better than the one we have at our airfield. And that mostly has to do with the fact that we don't have a tower at our airfield. We're much smaller than this. So as you saw on the landing, they have an asphalt runway, which we have grass. But this tower is not manned during the week. This is a PPR airfield. So we did get our permission ahead of time. And we spoke with a gentleman named Bart. And he was super, super friendly and very helpful. I find that here in Germany, I'll include Austria and Switzerland also, everyone who works at the airfield are friendly because this is a pretty tight community. It's a pretty open community. This sign right here tells us that we're 10 minutes away from downtown by bicycle, but who in their right mind flies with a bicycle in their plane? Well, it's actually really common here in Southern Europe for airfields to make bicycles available to you. So we're just going to borrow one of their bicycles if Gus can figure out how to use the combination lock. Oh, yeah. Hey, in the comment section down below, let me know if American airfields do this. Maybe it is something every airfield does, but definitely something we do in Europe.
Calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
For being in the middle of nowhere, I'm surprised at the number of tourists here. Like, we're literally in the middle of nowhere. I have to say, in the town where we live, we have a favorite bakery that we go to, and they know us like really well, which makes us Stammgäste. So we go into this particular cafe, and they don't even ask us our order. They already know. So we sit at our usual table, and they bring our food. Almost every single time I'm eating in there, I eat a Zimtschnecke, which is like a cinnamon snail. And then Gus always eats the Rosinen. He eats it with the one with raisins. So here we are visiting Nördlingen, and we just decided we needed coffee, so we popped into this local cafe over here, and they had this instead of Zimtschnecke with the cinnamon roll. This is an Apfelschnecke with apple in it. Very tasty.
Von Skier nostri luctus alta spes fidelium, qui Iesu dona pacem, anxia mentire requiem, qui Iesu dulcis Christe, dulce nos in claritate.
So, something interesting to point out is that the impact of this meteorite created this 25-kilometer wide depression that we're in right now. Now, to put that into perspective, the impact was that of about 40 million Hiroshima bombs. Again, 40 million Hiroshima bombs created this depression that we're in right now. And my God, is this beautiful. We live in a beautiful part of southern Germany. And you can still see fragments of that asteroid in the walls here, in some of the cobblestone steps that we just walked up to the top of the tower. Now, the diamond that's in the rock here is so tiny, it's minuscule, 0.02 millimeters wide. But it is known as the Diamond City, and I find it kind of interesting that all of the buildings and structure around here are still completely intact. Another interesting fact, Nördlingen is one of 3 towns in Germany that still has a walled city. This one here stretches about 2.5 kilometers and is surrounded by 5 entrances, so 5 gates, and 11 watchtowers. We're walking it now, and you'll get to see some pretty views of the city.
Just the right amount with the lemon. It's just right. Okay, so I'll go ahead and tell you that what I'm having is effectively Wiener Schnitzel. Yeah. Which is a fairly thin slice of. It can be turkey, it can be ham, it can be all kinds of things. This one happens to be ham. Yeah. And then they put a light breading on it, and then they fry it. I'm always afraid it's going to be a bit dry because the first one I ever had when I was in Hamburg in the north of Germany was too dry, so I'm always leery now. But this one's not dry. This one's moist. And the lemon juice adds just the right amount of, just the touch. Yeah, zest.
Zest.
And then these are called pommes, French fries for our American viewers. This is a very traditional German lunch. Yeah. If you go to any of the beer festivals, this is what you're going to expect to eat.
Yep.
This with beer.
That's it. And then I'm having the lightly sauced version of Jägerschnitzel. So on top is champignon or mushrooms in a gravy sauce, I guess, what you would say.
Yeah, gravy.
Yep.
How's it taste?
Delicious.
Mine's good.
Mm-hmm. Not overcooked, perfect.
This reminds me of that other time we stopped in this restaurant is in a Gasthaus, like an inn, bed and breakfast type deal. And it reminds me of a time that he and I were in Austria, and we were in the middle of nowhere, stopped in some town, walked into the Gasthaus to have lunch. Ended up I had a burger.
Yeah.
I had a burger. The waiter was some kid. I'm not sure he was 18. I don't know if he was legally working, who had come from the Czech Republic
to work there.
That was also a good lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Good experience.
On the back of the 13th century town hall, more commonly referred to as Rathaus in German, there's a Renaissance-era external staircase built in 1618. If you look carefully for a fool, when you see his reflection in the mirror, the inscription will read, Nun sind unseres zwei. Now, there are two of us. You just got pranked by a 17th century architect.
Nördlingen Radio, Delta Kilo Oscar India, Pistol 04 started. Got a little bumpy, yeah. As we climb out of the pattern for Nördlingen and we're headed back home, we want to thank you once again for joining us in this adventure. Hope that you really enjoyed it. Would love to read your comments down below. And hope that you're enjoying your own flight to flavor. Bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss.
Tschüss.